Oh.
What is that? Was up when the dude went from this to this. What the heck? I literally feel like I'm in the movie Uglies.
Did you see it?
Hello guys, Dajin here, your go-to Asian lady for mysterious and creepy videos that's on the internet. So before we begin, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification for more interesting video coming your way. So let's go! Alright.
I want to hear about the Hopi prophecy.
There's a story that was passed down for generations by the Hopi people. They warned of a time when humans would create a terrifying object so powerful it could burn the earth, poison the skies, and silence the land. And they referred to that as gourd of ashes, which sounds a lot like the atomic bomb. The way the prophecy goes, it starts out at some point, the earth, there would be a black ribbon built and that bugs would be upon it. And then you begin to see the bug moving on the land. This was the sign. They called it the first shaking of the earth. It would be so violent that the bug would be shaken off of the earth into the air and it would begin to move and fly through the air and it would cause disease. This predates the gourd. Apparently in the 20s, they saw those planes and cars and they were like, okay, this is something coming true because we've seen the first two things happen. And the third, this complete destruction, poisoning the waters, consuming the land. They believed that the technological advancement without spiritual wisdom would destroy the earth. They warned that we are now living in the fourth world is what they call it. And when enough destruction and imbalance occurs, the earth will shift again into a fifth world, but only after a massive upheaval and purification. And this is terrifying. This is a quote from the 40s after the bomb was dropped. He said, nature will speak with its own voice.
Yeah.
The time for warnings is over.
So creepy.
Yeah, so for the Hopi prophecy is probably one of the most famous prophecy that's around right now, but we don't know how long does each world last. So right now we're in the fourth world. So the fourth world can be like how long, like 1,000 years long, or 5,000 or 10,000 years long before this world's about to end. So a lot of people think we're at the end of this fourth world is because in the prophecy it mentioned about the signs of impending end. So basically in Hopi prophecy it says when the fifth war started, only the spiritually prepared survive. So like what we can do right now is just prepare ourselves spiritually. We'll try, at least. I guess. Alright.
The world that you're seeing isn't the true world. All of this that I'm seeing right now is just a virtual reality. It's like you're born with a headset on playing a video game. That's your reality. But if you're the programmer who wrote the code for the game, you know that there's an entire world outside of it, and as the programmer, you can do miracles.
And do you think we're getting closer to being able to edit the code?
That's exactly what I'm working on right now. And we're opening up a realm of new technologies that are far more powerful than anything we've seen before, like time travel. And nuclear bombs will be like firecrackers.
And will people suffer?
So it's like Pandora's box. There's all sorts of nasty surprises, but they also could be miraculous. But either way, just in the last few months, it started to crack open.
So let's talk about that.
Okay, so according to Darwin's theory, our sensory systems, eyes, ears, smell, touch, are not shaped to show us the truth. They were shaped to keep you alive long enough to reproduce successfully. Because seeing the truth takes too much time and energy. And so whatever reality is, it's utterly unlike anything that I perceive.
Well, what does this all mean for the nature of how one should understand their life?
Well, if you're stuck in a boring world, that's a world of your own creation. That's not the real world. And my conscious experiences are nothing but what my brain creates. And so we feel inadequate and we feel like we need to compete with other people. But you're the inventor of this whole thing. You have nothing to prove. And there are much more interesting perspectives that we can take on ourselves. So if you really knew who you are, you would see no need to compare or compete.
So did the research show that our eye can only see like 0.1% of all the spectrum? So
Matt Rife's been keeping a secret from all of you, not from me, because I watched their every step. I've been noticing your moves, dude. How long you been to occultism? Demonology? You freaks. Other than being just another puppet, I'm sorry, jester in Hollywood. What you been up to, Matt?
I have just bought the Ed and Lorraine Warren's home and occult museum with my very good friend
That's wild, Matt, because with the company you keep, we would have had no idea you were into such things. What were they known for?
Ed and Lorraine Warren are who took demonology and ghost hunting and paranormal investigation and made it mainstream.
I have no idea where you would learn such things, maybe from the family biz. Oh, hey, Seth Green. Isaac Happy had a lot to say about you. Anyways, we should have known something was up when the dude went from this to this. What the heck? I literally feel like I'm in the movie Uglies. You know, when they went from normal people like us to the perfect ones. I literally find it spot on. But anyways, no one thought it was a bit suspicious that he decided to channel Billy Idol. And at the exact moment Matt Rife was channeling Billy Idol was wearing Basquiat. And if you don't know who Basquiat is, well, you often find him being repped by Jay-Z or Ellen DeGeneres. He had some very interesting artwork, but what did he know how to do? Well, rumor has it Basquiat was a medium. He was a magician. He was a scion of Haiti and learned voodoo from his mother. And allegedly, Basquiat knew how to channel immortal beings like Urzuli Dantor into the mortal realm because he knew the relationship between possession and the dance floor. In December of 2024, he got baptized and stated that even though he hates church, he wanted to believe in God. And am I the only one who's noticing that they're mixing occultism with Christianity and making it mainstream now? Something doesn't feel right about this dude anymore.
So on this matter, I would say keep an open mind.
We may have just solved one of the strangest ancient mysteries in all of ancient history, which is how did builders back in the day get the stones to fit together like this? It's called polygonal masonry, and it's way stranger than you think. It is the only reason why Machu Picchu is able to survive between two fault lines. The stones actually guide the force of an earthquake through the whole building, through the strange angles and curves. Brick and mortar buildings are literally begging to be destroyed. The earthquake can travel in a straight line through the building through the weakest points in the mortar. The joints in this style of building fit together so well you can barely see them sometimes. Some even have these little fuse stones. If the force was too great, instead of the big blocks cracking, these would explode, allowing the building to shift a little bit. Now what you're seeing here is graphite going through a chemical reaction forming a Rayleigh-Bernard pattern. In fluid dynamics, a less dense fluid can shape a more dense fluid if it's heated up, forming these cellular patterns and even the little fuse stone. It's tough though. Wouldn't it just be easier to pour some liquid stone into a container and pave like we do? Both of these are great explanations and look just like this, but there is one enormous problem. Stones, like the ones in Peru, are so big they don't make sense. This chemical reaction is very small, and although we see it in nature, it's often only volcanic rock, which these are. Diorite is one of the hardest stones to carve on Earth, yet it shows signs of melting. Not only melting, but bending. We also know the quarries that they came from. And in places like Aswan, there's an abandoned obelisk with evidence of a scooping tool of some sort. But then you gotta move it in place. MIT used poured concrete in special molds that calculated the center of gravity of these stones so that they could be moved easily. On a flat lab floor, Machu Picchu is on a mountain. That stone is square, and we clearly forgot how to do this. The final form of this rock bending can be seen in the Coricancha. Luckily, the conquerors of these people built a cathedral over it to protect the machine-like stones that you can find inside. That's if you don't get distracted by the delicious smell of KFC that happens to inhabit one of these ancient buildings with precision stonework in Cusco. This is a vitally important concept to all of humanity. There is no written record of how these things were made, shaped, moved, quarried, anything. All we have is the clues left in the stone.
Yeah, I mean, the only explanation is ancient technology. So just like Hopi's prophecy, one of our previous world had much higher technology than us. But I do kind of want to go there and visit their KFC. It's so cool. You have KFC right inside the antiquity. Alright.
We are here looking at some random thing in the sky that has been here for what, like 30 minutes now? Just up there blinking. Never seen it before. It's not moving. We're thinking maybe a drone, but it hasn't moved. It's just sat there.
So weird.
It's been moving, but like not, I mean, not anywhere like actually like going somewhere.
Like it would move and then it would come back to the same spot. It would make like
so weird. It's just this bright green thing. Yes, I got it. Oh, what is that? This is a telescope, and I don't know what this looks like. Bacteria or something.
That's so gross. Oh wow,
It's like a squid. A green squid.
I don't know, y'all. This is kind of creepy.
Why?
Is a squid drone? Is a squid-shaped green blinking drone? I mean, it's really not surprising right now since somebody was saying that the other day we have more than 1 trillion cloak devices in the air. So maybe that one's just like the cloaking device like malfunction or something. Alright.
Did you see it?
Oh shit, this sound scared me.
What do you think?
Looks like a shadow person. Ooh, no. Ooh. It looks like a black hair, white robe entity. Alright.
Do you guys know why everyone says that the demons are more prominent at 3 a.m., that jinn come to you at nighttime? Well, this isn't a coincidence. This is a real thing, and actually science backs this up. I'm going to show you guys some cool stuff. So let me ruin your sleep real quick. You'll sleep fine, but the 3 a.m. nighttime haunting theory isn't just random, and it's not just bad luck either. So in Islam, it talks about how the jinn are going to be more prominent after sunset. And in Christianity, it calls 3 a.m. the devil's hour. But this isn't a coincidence. Science actually backs this up. So around this time, this is where your dopamine crashes. Your brain starts to slow down, and essentially your spiritual and mental guard comes down. Basically just makes you open house for demons and jinn. This is the moment where you're at your weakest spiritually. This is also the same time where most people are having sleep paralysis, is about 3 to 4 a.m. And they start seeing shadows in the corner. And the thing is, this isn't just a dream. This is real stuff that happens to real people. Demons love when people say that all of this spiritual stuff is fake, that it's not real. And more power to those kind of people. There's a bunch of people out in the world that just think it's all fake and it's not true and nothing ever matters. But those people often don't get poked with because they're not real believers.
And this is the biggest AI reveal since GPT-4 dropped back in 2023. But the real question is, does it live up to the hype? Let's break it down. But first, follow me. I'll break down everything from the live stream as soon as it drops. Okay, so we don't know everything just yet, but here's what we do know. Apparently, GPT-5 has been trained for over a year, and it's expected to be smarter, faster, and more reliable than GPT-4 in every single way. And rumors say it might have native multimodality, meaning it has built-in images, videos, audio, and code all built into one model. No more plugins and no more switching tools. Some say it could push us closer to AGI, while others are scared about the safety concerns. I, for one, am worried about both. But here's the real question. If GPT-4 changed how we work, what happens when GPT-5 can think? Guys, this isn't about smarter chatbots. This is about AI becoming a true collaborator, an agent that could plan, reason, and act all on its own, like your own built-in personal Jarvis. We're not getting an update, we're crossing a threshold. And I, for one, am very excited, but also fearful for what the future of our timeline holds. What do you guys think?
Google just dropped their most advanced world model. It's called Genie 3, and it can create fully interactive 3D worlds that you can explore in real time just from a text prompt. Just describe any environment you want, and Genie 3 generates dynamic worlds at 24 frames per second with real-time interactivity. The crazy part? It outputs footage at 720p and can sustain consistent simulations for several minutes, but here's where it gets insane. You can actually change the world while you're in it. Using text prompts, Google DeepMind's Genie 3 can dynamically alter the state of its simulated worlds. DeepMind says this is a crucial stepping stone toward AGI because it creates unlimited training environments for AI agents. The model maintains visual memory extending as far back as 1 minute, so when you revisit locations, everything stays exactly as you left it. This could completely revolutionize game development, VR experiences, and AI training. Wanna check it out? Comment world and I'll send you all the info.
Wow, it's so cool. We can just basically in the future just create our own virtual environment. Alright.
Okay, this video has gone viral, and for good reason. Half the internet believes it's AI, the other half believes it's real. I've actually tracked down the actual person who posted it. They literally opened a TikTok account just to post this video. They captured this anomaly over a volcano in Mexico as they were driving down the highway. It's not fake. It's not AI. It's something that they actually saw. They have no idea what it was or what it was doing. But they've also stated this isn't the first time that locals have seen some unidentified objects around their volcano, above it, and even going inside of it. It's almost normal. Are they trying to prevent something? Take a look at this. Comment below. Tell me what you think.
It's like a large size of Boogosphere. It looks exactly like Boogosphere's mom. It's like mommy Boogosphere. It definitely looks realistic because it's over 15 seconds long. If it's over 15 seconds long, our AI cannot create it yet. But as far as if this is CGI, somebody actually plays something, it doesn't look like it because the cloud you can see is so fluid. What do you think? Giant Boogosphere?
This company is building an AI version of Netflix. It looks like Netflix, but all the shows are made with AI. And here's the crazy part. These aren't just movies and TV shows that you watch. They're actually interactive, where you as the viewer can become a character and even generate your own episodes. The company's called Fable, and it turns out they might have just invented a whole new category of entertainment. Now, 2 years ago, Fable went super viral for recreating South Park with AI. You could just type in the plot for any South Park episode, and boom, they could generate it from scratch. The characters, the sounds, the scenes, everything. It was pretty incredible. Now, the South Park stunt was just a demo, but it was also the seed for something much bigger, playable shows. And this is where things get wild. On Fable's showrunner platform, new shows aren't just episodes that you watch, they're more like worlds that get created for viewers to build on top of. Each show has a unique design aesthetic and things like characters, environments, locations, and plots. But here's the difference. Viewers can dive into the show's world and make their own episodes. They can add themselves as characters, turn real locations into scenes, and even come up with their own alternate endings. And this means every show has a base world and hero episodes, and then thousands of spin-offs, sequels, and fan versions combining together to build out the cinematic universe. And if you're into business, here's the cool part. For all those fan spin-offs, there's a revenue split back to the original creator, the one that had dreamed up the original world in the first place. So for example, let's say you dreamed up the original cinematic world for Game of Thrones, and your small team produced the first couple dozen episodes. If you added that show on Fable, millions of fans around the world could build on top of your original IP. And how great would that have been to get alternate endings of the real Game of Thrones? Now, it's still early days for this technology, but Amazon just invested in Fable. So it looks like this is going to be a thing. I think Fable just sneakily invented a whole new category of playable content.
Other than generating episodes, the possibility of the future MMOs, that would be really cool.
You don't just wake up and stay awake forever. Even after a spiritual awakening, you're still human. One moment you're feeling infinite one with the universe, and the next you're stuck in traffic, you're irritated by the Wi-Fi speed, or you miss a deadline. That doesn't make you less spiritual, it makes you human. Spiritual growth is not a ladder that you climb and never descend, it's a wave. You rise, crash, and rise again. You didn't lose your awakening, you're just learning how to hold the divine light in a human body. So breathe, it's okay to be both infinite and imperfect.
Science continues to show that one of the most important forms of medicine for your body is in your mind, where this practice doesn't just make you feel calm and relaxed, but it also completely changes your body's chemistry. In a recent study, scientists looked at the effects of a mindfulness practice called integrative body-mind training and compared it to relaxation techniques. In using participants that had no meditation experience, and after just 10 short hours of training, the results were quite significant. Compared to the relaxation group that showed no significant changes, the mindfulness intervention group showed significant increases in beneficial molecules related to improved brain functions such as memory and learning, stress relief, emotional regulation, while there were decreases in potentially harmful molecules connected to cognitive decline and dementia. On top of improved metabolic pathways with less inflammation, better energy production, and better fat metabolism.
Key takeaway here is that short practices in mindfulness, where you have this non-judgmental awareness of your body and mind, has significant effects on your health, where its benefits goes beyond relaxation, helping your body rewire its chemistry for physical and emotional resilience.
I was laying in bed one night in this place. There was nobody else in this building. It was just me and there were me and a guy in one room and 2 other guys in the room across the hall there. Okay? Well, I'm laying in bed and all of a sudden I'm jolted awake by something that hits my door. And I lay in bed for maybe 30 seconds, and while I'm laying there listening, I can hear some strange voices echoing up and down the hall of this building that we're in. And so immediately I get up, open the door, walk out, nobody's out there, walk around, nobody's in the building, go in my buddy's room beside me, they're both passed out. But it scared me, dude. I was like, what on earth is this? I called my little brother, because I knew my little brother was a Christian. And I said, well, here's one of these Christians. They'll have maybe a little bit of insight on this spiritual stuff that might be going on here. Over. He said, well, man, I ain't never ran into nothing like that. He said, I'm going to put you in touch with my pastor of my local church here. They were real close. His name's James Cordell. James called me the next day, and I told him what all was going on. Well, he acted like it wasn't no big deal. I said, no, buddy. I said, you don't understand. I said, there's something in here. I don't know what it is. He said, ain't no big deal. He said, put me on speakerphone. He said, I'm going to walk around. He said, walk around this building, up and down the hallways. And he said, I'm going to pray. And I put him on speakerphone. I'm walking around this building, up and down the hallways in my room. He's praying against this thing in the name of Jesus Christ. He says, all right, now, we had a little kitchenette there. He said, you have some olive oil in there? I said, yeah, we got a bottle. He said, take just a little dab of that olive oil and just dab it on the top of your door frame there. So I did it. Joe, I'm thinking the whole time, this is so stupid. But what else do I do in this situation? Let's try this, right? Let's give this a shot. Yeah. Right. And I dabbed that little olive oil up there. I leave, go to work. We come back that evening, wind down. Total peace had returned to this place. I did no longer heard or felt or was experiencing any sort of fear or anything. It all was gone. All of a sudden it was just oh, okay, now I'm just in another little barracks room here.
Did the other guys feel the same way?
So this is what's funny. I didn't tell the other guys that I did that. And because they were all gone when I walked around with this crazy man on speakerphone. The next morning we woke up and my buddy woke up in the room. He said, what's all over the door? And I looked up and that little dab of olive oil had somehow dripped down and covered the entire door of the room that we were staying in. And you could see it toward the bottom of the door, the drips. The whole door was shiny. And he said, what's all over the door? And I said, don't worry about it, man. I don't know what the crap that is.
So just that old saying again, keep an open mind. Anything is possible. Alright, and that's it for today's video. If you like those videos, please give me a like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.